What is this beat? Oh, Honey Bear. Oh, yes. Honey Bear. Honey Boo Boo, ready to rock. What's going on, everybody? Hello. Welcome to the NBA Live Before Lock show, presented by Yahoo. My TV's not cooperating. I apologize to Yahoo in the event that they love seeing the logo, as they should, in the background all the time, but AirPlay doesn't work. You know what else doesn't work? My NFL lineups. So we're going to be focusing on some NBA here today because this is going to be even just crazier than normal, no doubt about it. Ready to rock, though. As I am with, I'm trying to see what's happening. What's happening? Matt LaMarca, there he is. Oh, we're going to try to get it.
Camera refuses to focus.
Let's get it.
There we go.
Yay! Yahtzee. We got Matt LaMarca in the house at Matt LaMarca, probably the easiest guy to follow on Twitter other than at Eric Lindquist, because, you know, it's just our names. They're right there.
I would argue LaMarca much easier to spell than Lindquist.
What? But you have like an M, capital M in the middle of it.
Yeah, but you don't need to capitalize it on Twitter.
You don't, but I'm just saying it. Whatever. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when this and all the other content here at Awesemo is going live. We have probably one of the more ridiculous, and I do mean ridiculous NBA slates that I've ever seen in my entire life. Matt LaMarca, what the heck do we do today?
Pray, I think is where you start. Yes. I wrote my big board article, and there were literally like 5 players with a value rating of 100 on DraftKings and 8 players with a value rating of 100 on FanDuel. So it's just a very weird night. You're going to obviously be going with a stars and scrubs type of approach. I don't think that there's any reason to consider any format other than that with the amount of value that's available. So it just comes down to trying to be on the right studs, maybe finding, you know, the few potential trap plays out there, avoiding them. And that's easier said than done, but we'll try. You know, we'll try to help you through it.
All right. And I've got a take because we're going to learn a lot about NBA DFS tonight and the state of it because of one player in particular that's listed as out on DraftKings and FanDuel. And he is absolutely the most important player to the slate, I believe. We're going to learn who's using an optimizer and paying attention to stuff and who is not. I hope everybody's paying attention to the NFL right now, because in the event that I am right about this, we could be making a lot of money together. So stay tuned later in the program. That won't be till the forward spot. But here we go. We got to talk about guards and this entire slate from the get-go. The Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors have 8 players. 8. And we're looking at a situation similar to last year where there are a bunch of nobodies. There's a bunch, like, legitimately, everybody has COVID on this basketball team. Everybody is depleted here. So I'm going to list off the guys that I know are active from this basketball team. Chris Boucher, Delano Banton, which big discussion point here coming up. Svi Mikhailuk, Yuta Watanabe, Tremont Waters, DJ Wilson, and Juwan Morgan. We're going to have that starting lineup here. I don't really even care about trying to analyze what it looks like, but what are you doing with this basketball team, which I would argue is the most important basketball team to get right on this slate tonight?
You're playing them, a lot of them.
Cool. Yes.
You know, but Banton, excuse me, I've been calling him Blanton all day, like Joe Blanton, but
I don't know who that
Banton. One of the best values on the slate, hands down. He's a point guard on DraftKings. He's a power forward on FanDuel. Not sure how they chose those distinctions, but that's where you can play him on each of these sites, and I suggest you do so. We have him projected for 35, almost 36 minutes, and he's been an over a fantasy point per minute type of dude this season. So you're playing him, you're playing Mikhailuk, you're playing Tremont Waters, play some Chris Boucher. The only guy I really would say that I don't have a lot of interest in is DJ Wilson. I just don't know if he's good enough to warrant a center spot. You know, center is pretty competitive today as far as like what minutes you're looking to give out. And the same goes for Oturu. So I would avoid the centers, but everybody else, with the exception of maybe like Juwan Morgan, fine play.
Yeah, I'm with you. DJ Wilson is kind of fascinating because it's not like he doesn't project out well, but we're talking about a slate where Luka Garza exists and Ronald Renfro touchdown, the first good thing that's ever happened in my life. Luka Garza DJ Wilson on the top end, both projected for better than 8x. But then we have Guillermo, Hernan Gomez. We have Taco Fall, somebody that's up there that's 6x or better. Baby. I'm not going to even throw him into the mix because if you play Taco Fall on this slate and he gets there, I quit. Like, I literally will never do a show again in my entire life. So maybe go ahead and cheer for Taco Fall. I legitimately will never, ever, 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 ever live it down in the event that Taco Fall gets there. I'm just going to have 0%. That's just absurd that he's even somebody that you could talk about. But Check Diallo now becomes interesting there. 3K for Detroit. This entire Detroit situation is just madness with no Trey Lyles. We'll get to them here in a second, but around the loop out on Toronto, I think I'm with you where DJ Wilson, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get over 7%, but he's definitely the one that I'm going to be tempered on. The rest of this basketball team, you can roster to oblivion, specifically Delano Banton. So he's got a Q tag next to his name on DraftKings. He is listed as out on
That's
FanDuel.
removed. That's removed now.
On FanDuel, it's not. I'm looking at FanDuel right now. He is still right there. And he's power forward on FanDuel, whereas on DK, he's point guard. So I don't know really what to tell you. Delano Blanton. See, now I just did it. Now I said Blanton. You screwed me up. Banton is the guy that I think you just play unapologetically as much as you humanly possibly want. Are you in agreement with that one?
Yeah, totally. And so are our tools. We have him with the third highest optimal rate on DraftKings. He's up there as well on FanDuel. So he's somebody that I will consider the lock button on for sure. And somebody that I will certainly be well over 50%.
Guys, Banton has cleared protocols. Yeah, and again, I understand. I'm not going to ban anybody here with the fake news or doing whatever else. He is listed as out on FanDuel. Again, we're going to find out very quickly about NBA DFS on whether or not people are using a bunch of optimizers. This is the most impossible slate I've ever seen to try to hand build. I could never in a million years go through lineups and try to hand build anything today because certain guys are just going to project out ridiculously well. Unless you just clicked on Toronto and Detroit and we're just I'm going to make a lineup of 7 of these guys. You could probably hand build that way, but then you're going to be leaving a lot of salary on the table, and figuring out who we're going to be spending up for is going to be a major, major question mark here of this slate. I think De'Aaron Fox getting back really, really depletes, the opportunity to go to a Tyrese Halliburton, which has been pretty automatic here of late. But now looking at the top of the guard position, Brandon Ingram, Ja Morant, Darius Garland, Zach LaVine, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We are looking for raw points. That is the goal. I don't care about the ownership of any of them. Give me the most raw points. Who, if you're paying up at guard, are you going to be going to the most, Matt LaMarca?
Probably Ingram. He's near the top of the pricing spectrum, 9,800. But he benefits the most with from the Pelican situation, right? They have no Valanciunas again. Decent matchup against the Thunder. They're subpar defensive team. So we have him projected for, nearly 4.5 more points than any other guard on this slate. I feel pretty good about having him as my top option as a pay up there.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be going to Ja Morant a bunch at 9K. Mainly because I'm prioritizing Jokic, not just because he's the best play up on the slate, but I'm going to go watch him tonight at Staples Center. Very excited to be checking out the Clippers tonight to go watch this game. The depleted, terrible, no Paul George, no Kawhi Leonard Clippers. They should be a joy to watch, but Nikola Jokic will be. 34.5% is not high enough for him, but we'll get to him as we're moving across. But yeah, Brandon Ingram, I love, but 9,800. Big number. Again, we are looking for raw points, though. I do think having him, having Ja Morant, having them in your pool and kind of combining them. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wouldn't generally project out very well, 8,900. But once again, raw points. For me, the guy that is just under-owned here at the moment is a 6,500 Derek White. And I say under-owned knowing that he's 37% owned. But legitimately, you got to spend money at some places. And you just got DeJounte Murray ruled out. Again, my head hurts trying to figure out all of the different things for the health and safety protocols that come in every 5 seconds and trying to adjust numbers and projections, but that makes it profitable. How are you feeling about Derek White in this spot?
Yeah, I like Derek White. I do think that given the ownership for him, I will probably be a bit under. It's not that I don't think he can pay off this salary like he clearly can, but I think that people that are loading up on him and passing on some of the other guards I just don't think the ownership accurately reflects the upside that he possesses. So, he has a negative leverage score in the boom bust tool. A lot of the top guards do, to be fair. But, I think I can talk myself into, going with a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander at lower ownership. There are other alternatives that you can pivot to.
Yep. And we've got a number of guys in this mid-range. And again, we could go on, and we should. It's a 7-game slate. We've got 49 minutes, and the guard position is very, very important to get right. Eric Bledsoe is a guy we should probably talk about. Let's just talk about this entire Clippers situation. It's the very last game here of the night. I don't know if we would need any more news to show up in order to get value. We'll get to Detroit. I want to kind of cover them last. But Eric Bledsoe, 16.4% here. Ownership here on DraftKings. Terrence Mann, 10.2. Going over to FanDuel, looking at the point guard spot there. Again, these roster spots are so valuable just from a pure point perspective. But 5,400 here, he's got to be a catalyst for this team offensively. We've seen floor games, but anytime he's seen 30-plus minutes here of late, 41 and 35.1 on FanDuel, I think that's serviceable. He seems like a decent enough option. Are you getting to him or any of these other Clippers guards in the late night hammer?
I think the Clippers are pretty massively undervalued right now. You look at no Reggie Jackson, no Paul George, that opens up so many opportunities for the rest of this line.
And no Marcus Morris.
Right, and no Momo. Bledsoe.
Momo is no Mo.
0.95 DraftKings points per minute for Bledsoe, 9.2 for Canard, 9.0 for Terrence Mann. All of those guys should play relatively heavy minutes. All three, two of the three, Luke Canard not showing up as positively leveraged, but I'm cool with I will be overweight on all three, particularly Bledsoe. I think he has upside for 40 plus DraftKings points in this spot, and that makes him valuable.
I'm with you. It's disturbing. It's disgusting. Eric Bledsoe sucks. Every time you watch games with Eric Bledsoe on a floor, it's unenjoyable. I'm going to do it live tonight, which is even more disgusting. But him and Terrence Mann, both guys that I think I want to get to on this slate. I can play Terrence Mann as a small forward spot, point guard spot. He's versatile on DK. I'm going to get above 10% on him. I'm going to get above 16% Eric Bledsoe. I think both of them seem undervalued. Plus, as I said, as if we need more news tonight, there are things that could happen that could open up under-owned value. I would say that. Toronto's in the very first game. I don't think I'm avoiding them whatsoever, nor do I think any of you should as well. He's definitely somebody I want to get, but the Clippers situation is definitely something that I want to get valued, get a little bit more, that I value a little bit more than the field as well. So I'm with you here. Let's talk Detroit. And I just keep seeing things popping up constantly, and I'm trying to figure out exactly Isaiah Levers. He was going through a question, like a conditioning deal where he might not be active here. He's a power forward, but that's just more minutes that could go to random people, and that sucks. We don't want minutes going to random people. But Corey Joseph, Josh Jackson, now in health and safety protocols as well. We're looking at Frank Jackson being one of the only dudes in town. We're looking at Derek Walton Jr. being a guy that projects out decently well at 3K. Check Diallo, I talked about. We'll get to them later. But Sadiq Bey, Hamidou Diallo, just kind of like up and down. There's so many pieces to be going to. But Frank Jackson at the guard spot, how much are you getting to him on this slate?
Yeah, I have a pretty good bit of Frank Jackson. We have him projected for 38 minutes right now, and he's been a solid per minute producer of late. We've seen some ceiling gains from him. I do think Detroit, excuse me, is a team where I'm looking more at the studs, and if you can call them studs, right? I don't really want to pay for.
Talking about?
We're talking about Sadiq Bey at 7,500. Like,
that's funny.
He's a stud right now. He's a stud for this team.
I know he sticks
but
out.
Like,
it's ridiculous.
I don't really feel the need to dip into these 3K players for the Pistons, with the possible exception of Garza. Garza's grading out as a very nice, value play at the absolute minimum. I don't think I will have as much Garza as the field or as you from, just talking to you about it. But I think Bey and Diallo and Jackson are really the three pieces that I'm loading up on for the Pistons.
My thing is Luka Garza, at least they drafted. Check Diallo is coming in off the street to like randomly fill a void for 10 minutes. I just think Luka Garza could play a freakish amount of minutes. Could they try to play Pickett and go small? Could they try to do other things maybe here against the Spurs? I mean, if Jakob Poeltl is going to be on the floor a bunch, and if you're going to have Jock Landale, who's now kind of taken over as the number 2 center there after getting called back up from the G League, their guy from Australia. Good day, mate. I'm looking at getting to a little bit more Luka Garza. I think he makes sense at center. But once again, at the guard spot, Frank Jackson makes sense. Sadiq Bey makes sense. There's so many good plays here on this slate, so we've got to identify a few points of finding leverage here. And one of those spots for me, I'm looking at this Cleveland guard situation. We're going to want to roster a bunch of Toronto guys, but if that game gets wonky or something weird happens, I would at least have some pieces of Darius Garland. And Ricky Rubio at 6,200 over on DK is perhaps my favorite guy to be overweight to that isn't a quote unquote star or a quote unquote scrub. He's sitting at 6,200. I currently am way more than like a ridiculous over the field here. I'm assuming he's starting here in this spot. He started last game. So long as he's in the starting lineup here, are you with me?
Yeah, Rubio is somebody that you can always have some interest in when you project him for minutes. We've seen some ceiling games from him. You know, he had that huge performance at MSG. He had 45-ish 2 games ago against the Bucks. I'm more interested in Garland, I think. You know, again, the raw point production from Garland is going to be significantly higher than Rubio. And we don't really care about the salary tonight. You know what I'm saying? So I'll take my shots with Garland, I think, more than I will with Rubio.
Okay. Garland, 9,700. Once again, raw points. That's what we're worried about because there's an eternal, and I do mean eternal amount of value to rotate around with them. So I am definitely interested in trying to figure out some paths to get to some studs that might be undervalued. So Darius Garland, definitely in the pool. I mean, I said I wanted to talk about both of them. Started with Rubio. He's getting more attention. So maybe Garland sub 10%. You can't tell me that there isn't 45, 50 sitting there. And that's kind of what we're interested in. And you're basically looking to get 40 plus out of every spot in your lineup. And yes, that includes 3K players on this slate. It's so dumb. Last situation to really discuss, because I'm kind of front loading it here so that we can get to position by position. I think it's going to be very important to react to the lineups as they come in from Toronto, from Cleveland, making sure that we're all set to go in these early ones. Tyler Hero just got ejected. That's not great for Showdown, but you know, I'm just a sick person grinding Showdown during NFL slates, whatever. Memphis. Let's talk Memphis. Ja Morant now. He's back. He's 9K. I love getting to him. I had discussed him there. But D'Anthony Melton, I believe, just got added to the protocols. So that is kind of fascinating. You know, you still have Zaire Williams out, Sam Merrill out, a number of guys that are just like randomly playing minutes. Dylan Brooks is now in health and safety protocols. So that's another guy. There's a ton of usage and availability here. Kyle Anderson is a guy that I'm getting to a crazy amount. I guess he's more point guard, small forward, power forward there. But Tyus Jones, or not Tyus Jones, but Ja Morant, we kind of covered that. Desmond Bain, there we go. I was saying Desmond Bain, 6K looks like the dumbest tag I've ever seen in my entire life, but like legitimately 35, 36 minutes of this dude, he's sitting sub 15%, doesn't grade out super well for us, but I think there's a path to 40 plus minutes for him. Is he somebody you've looked at all?
Yes, I have a smidge of Bain. Okay. I think this game on the surface is one, if we weren't dealing with so many COVID situations and injuries and stuff, like Grizzlies Kings would be an elite game to target, right? These are two fast-paced teams. They don't play a lot of defense. It leads to slate and implied team total. So I think getting some exposure to both of these squads makes sense. You don't really need to dive into, you know, like the John Conchars of the world with this team, right? You can focus on the top. You've got Ja, you've got Triple J, Desmond Bain, and I'm with you on Kyle Anderson. I think those four are sort of where I'm honing in my Grizzlies exposure. I will have probably less Bain, I would imagine, than the other three guys, just because I don't know if he has a ceiling for 40 plus. You know, he did do it a couple nights ago, so maybe I'm shortchanging Bain, but I feel like the other three guys have more upside. Yeah,
it's such a weird spot for me to try to extract a whole lot. I think they pale in comparison to Toronto. They pale in comparison to Detroit, but I am trying to find points of leverage. And I think that he's somebody that at 6K might have some unidentified ceiling. Might be more of what I'm getting at here. Same thing that I'm going to make for my case for Kyle Anderson being somebody that I want to get to a whole lot. Somebody in chat said, why play Banton? Well, because Banton's the best play on the slate. That might be why. I think that's why I want to get there.
I know you kind of poo-pooed him earlier, but
ooh, did I? I don't know who this is.
I kind of like Tyrese Halliburton again tonight, right?
No way.
We're De'Aaron Fox. He's missed 4 straight games. Yes, he's back, but is he going to jump right back into playing, 35 minutes tonight? I don't know. I think Halliburton, he can't, he's given us 50 plus in 3 straight games. And now he's going to be less than 5% owned. Does he automatically go from 50 to 30 with Fox back in the lineup? Or maybe
you convinced me. I'll get 5% of him. I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
50 to 40, something like that.
Honestly, just give me raw points. So I really don't care where I find them. I'm happy to try to make it a thing because I love Tyrese Halliburton, but I think that's the case you can make for a lot of guys. I think it's the same reason that I like Zach LaVine as somebody at sub 6%. Sure. You're talking about DeMar DeRozan being there and Zach LaVine, but we just got Lonzo Ball put on the health and safety protocols along with Tony Bradley. Alex Caruso's still hanging out there. Derek Jones Jr. Patrick Williams is out for the year. So there's minutes to be had for everybody up and down there. I saw Kobe White and IO discussion to Sonmu out of Illinois there. Somebody that, on a different slate, I might be getting to. I know Kobe White projects out really well at other sites. I just don't trust those minutes to be there. There's a lot of guys that can play his position. Javonte Green's going to come in and play minutes. You have Devin Dotson, who's going to be available and be somebody that can randomly play, 14, 15 minutes, which he's done of late here from time to time. So Oturo exists. He's a center, but whatever. I'm just saying that there's bodies there, whereas other places, there are not bodies.
Agreed. Yeah, I don't
Zach
think.
LaVine,
I don't think Kobe White.
Give me the raw points of Zach LaVine.
Yes, raw point. I don't think there's a bad play on the slate when you're talking about a guy who can conceivably be the highest scoring player at his position, and you're going to get him at less than 10% ownership.
Yeah. Oh my God, I cannot wait to go talk some forward here. This is just bonkers. Jay Crowder now. Thank God the Suns aren't on this slate either. This is just crazy. This is going to be crazy this entire week. But you know what can help you with all of the crazy? Awesemo Plus tools and content. Because once again, if you have them, you're able to just simply go into Cruncher. We're going to take those players out of the pool for you. We're going to make sure that they don't have projections next to their name. And that goes a long way. If you're hand building, Godspeed, rest. I mean, just enjoy life. But at this moment in time, check out Awesemo Plus tools and content. Weekly pass, $29.95. Get 25% off with promo code NBA Live. All caps, one word, NBA Live. And then if you want to check out the weekly package, $16.95 for that, or $4.95 for the NBA Weekly Express package. But you know what? If you're getting 25% off, it's not just NBA. You're getting NFL, you're getting MMA, you're getting NHL when that gets back here after their little holiday break. Very, very fun times. You're going to want to check this out. So 25% off. Use promo code NBA Live. Stop guessing, start winning, and join us here at Awesemo Plus today. All right, let's jump over to the forward spot. Once again, I want to leave about 10 minutes of time at the end of this show so that we can cover any starting lineups we get. That Toronto one is going to, I'm assuming we know it's going to look like. We just need confirmation, and we need to talk through what those minutes are going to look like for everybody, which has a pretty condensed range of outcomes because you need to play people. But, there might be some value to extract there. But let's go to the forward spot here where I want to go right back to Toronto. Chris Boucher is at 5,800. Chris Boucher, though, is over a fantasy point per minute player. He's also normally a part of the rotation, which is more than I can say for just about anybody else on this basketball team at the moment. How do you feel about Chris Boucher being the most popular forward on this slate?
I think it's fair. He's not my highest owned forward, but
who is your highest owned forward?
Sadiq Bey.
He's mine too.
I think it's interesting. Cool. You look at optimal rates in the boom bust tool. The top 2 guys are Detroit players. The next 3 guys are Toronto players. So that just kind of goes to show what you were talking about just the sheer lack of bodies means one of these players is going to pop for one of these teams. So I have exposure to all 5 of those: Sadiq Bey, Diallo, Svi Mikhailov, Chris Boucher, and Yuta Watanabe. But I think Bay is my favorite. Again, we don't really need the savings when you look at some of the other values that you can pair him with. So I don't mind paying $7,500 for him. It is a crazy price tag for Saddiq Bey, but I think that he can pay it off tonight.
Somebody just said that he's too expensive for cash games. I very much disagree. If you can play Saddiq Bey in a cash game, he's the one guy that I feel the absolute 100% most secure about the minutes for Detroit for. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, he played 43 minutes in there last
43 minutes, y'all. He's not leaving the floor basically ever. He's a really good shooter, 3-and-D guy generally, but the usage wasn't even there. Put up 20% usage. He was getting involved in the assist category, which he generally has never done until this plethora of injury news and health and safety protocols came through. We're talking about a guy that can rebound decently well, double-double, 23, 10, and 5. Generally, the steals and blocks, they've been there in years past more prevalently, or, last season for sure. He had a couple games as I'm going through where he had 4 of those puppies, but somebody that I remember on FanDuel last year had a couple of really nice 3-and-D games. So like Saddiq Bey, 33% on DK. I think that he's just like a core piece of anything that I want to do today. If people think that price tag looks wonky, guess what? Salary doesn't matter. I think we covered that already.
It's like, whose line is it anyway,
Yeah,
the points are made up and it doesn't really matter.
I love that. Not a lot of people are going to get that one. I think there's like a young crowd that we're not too hip to. But 34 years old over here. What up? How we doing? Let's go to the forward spot. The top end here, once again, other than Chris Boucher and Saddiq Bey, who we covered, Hamidou Diallo we talked about as well. Yuta Watanabe, however you want to go about it. 4,700 for him. Going to play 40+ minutes here. Another piece that it's just like, how do we not play a bunch of him?
You don't. You play a bunch of it.
You play a bunch of him. I have 55%, and I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, works for me.
Cool. Svi Mikhailuk, how much of him?
A good bit. I think I'm at about a third Svi at the moment.
Yep, I'm at 33%. Oh, it's almost like we... This is incredible. All right. Now to the Cleveland portion of the program from the forward spot. So we have Okoro, who just said for conditioning, not going to be good. I think that I just saw that news. Maybe I just made it up, but I thought I saw that hit the wire. There's so much news. Yes, ruled out. So good. I wanted to double check Okoro because we had him projected for 31 minutes. He needs to go by. So he's gone. Dean Wade more than likely going to be the guy who picks up the start here. But our friend Kevin Love in 23 minutes a night continues to put up like 34 to 44 points. I will say, he's the most uncomfortable fade that I have on this entire slate because I just think that there are tons more minutes available throughout the position. And why do I want to play a guy that isn't free, that isn't 3K, that has no minutes upside beyond 25? Do you know how many times he's played more than 25 minutes this entire season?
1.
0 is the answer. 0 is the answer that Eric Lindquist was looking for. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
So I like Kevin Love today.
Shit.
We haven't projected for less than 15% ownership. I think that's a mistake. I get it. I hear all your points. It's an uncomfortable play.
Kevin Love's starting?
It's an uncomfortable play.
Did I miss this?
He is in the starting lineup.
Oh, shoot. Okay, that happened 10 minutes ago. I missed that. All. Oh, shit. Never mind. Okay, everybody, scrap what I just said. Again, I'm paying attention to 40 million things, and I'm trying my best here to help you guys out. I'm going to miss things from time to time. I definitely missed that. Kevin Love starting is a different situation because you know how many times he started this year?
0.
0 would be the answer to that as well. So 0 for both of those. They were both 0. Jordan Klein, no reactions to any of this. None. He doesn't care. He's immune to my silliness. That's what it is. All right. Kevin Love starting is a completely different conversation. 6,100. Do you still see a path? What's your minutes upside that you're seeing for Kevin Love in a starting role here?
20, like ceiling, 28, 30.
All right.
But I think he gets probably like 26 now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I'm going to definitely get to him there at that number. All right. The thing that we were waiting for came through. Here it is. The Toronto starting lineup. You're ready to rock.
Let's do it, baby.
We've got Banton, Mikhailuk, Watanabe, Wilson, and Boucher next to each other. So we got Wilson. I knew you were going to do that. You're the best. DJ Wilson. You didn't like him at the center spot before. Do you like him at the center spot now?
Nah, not really.
Okay, good talk. I'm going to get to now. People are at least going to be getting to him. So maybe, it's actually going to be a pronounced fade as opposed to the 7%, where it was pretty easy to play 15% and feel that you were getting over the field and be all right. Now you're looking at him being in that starting lineup, getting to around 15, 20%, I would say, before lock. So just be ready to react. That's all I can say there. Grizzlies starting lineup: Morant, Bain, Conker, your boy Concher, John Concher, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Steven Adams. Any reaction to that?
Nope.
Nope, me either. None. 0%. Sixers starting lineup has Embiid in it. That's really all that we should talk about or care about. How do you feel about Embiid today?
Love him.
Me too.
His only problem, as it has been for the entire season, is that he plays the same position as Nikola Jokic. That
is a problem. Yeah, maybe they could just have, two center spots. Oh, wait, they do. You can play two of them on DK. Isn't that fun? Oh,
we'll talk about it, but
we'll talk about it. I want to talk about it. Rest of the small forward position, though, here. Josh Hart, another guy that just continues to go nuts. I think, you're pretty secure getting 35 to 40 out of him pretty much every single time out, it would seem. Is he somebody at 16% that you're getting to?
I mean, that Josh Hart is my boy. I was playing Josh Hart before it was cool.
As was I. I mean, there was a day this year that I had 100% of him at 2%. Jordan Klein remembers. I did that. He smashed.
And
it was beautiful.
Knowing Josh Hart, he came through for you because that's what he does.
He does, because he's a rebounding machine and nobody knows it. Like, legitimately, look at his rebound rate. It's identical to Steven Adams in his time in New Orleans. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's actually kind of an encouraging thing. You look at his game log, right? He's gone for 39 and 41 in his last two games, essentially. Only 5 boards in each of those contests. He has the potential to get up over 10, get that double-double bonus. He's handing out more assists now. He's a very well-rounded player. I love Josh Hart. Josh Hart playing 40 minutes should be over 8K.
Are you watching chat right now?
No, I'm not.
You remember my theory before the show started where I said that Banton being out made me want to really, really double down on all of my entry fees? Everybody's freaking out because Banton is still listed out on FanDuel, and it's the best thing ever. I think we should all enter more money into this slate.
Seems like it might be a good idea.
I think we should really do that with the help of tools from Awesemo Plus. How about that?
Banton,
that's all I have. Banton, I'm telling you, everybody just, and people are spelling him Canton too. It's great. I'm really enjoying this. He's the most important player, I think, at this point, because I just don't know what that ownership's going to look like, but I have a feeling it's going to be lower than we're thinking it's going to be.
Also, the positional flexibility is
correct.
Is excellent.
Okay.
We have plenty of value at center, so that makes him more important to me than, the value centers that we're going to talk about.
Yep, that's true. All right. So we got to cover some of those starting lineups. We're going to revisit that. I'm still going to leave some extra time here, mainly because we both need to make sure we get everything nice and spick and span here, because there are lots of moving parts on this slate, particularly. Rest of the forward spots here. I'm going to just group this by raw projection once again, because it's so important. Oh, weird. Sadiq Bey, my highest projected forward on DraftKings. Once again, play him in cash. Brandon Ingram, 9,800. Discussed him. Josh Hart as well. Chris Boucher. What is this Domantas Sabonis madness? Because if he plays, sure, but do you think Domantas Sabonis plays today?
I have no idea. They won their last game without him. Maybe they hold him out for one more. Who knows, right? Who knows what's going on in Indiana? Every time I watch them, I'm like, why is this team so bad?
Because they have pieces. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not going to play Sabonis because right now, again, it's going to be kind of a wonky spot to swap out of. I don't know when that news breaks. Sure, you might get a really, really, really low owned Sabonis, but his minutes have been trending down and coming off of right calf soreness. I don't think that's the kind of thing, when he's already had some minutes issues earlier this season, that they're going to immediately let him go out and put up 38. So can he put up 60 in 38 minutes? Absolutely. It's Domantas Sabonis. He's an offensive, massive machine. So yeah, sure. But I'm more on the side of just not getting there here on this slate. It would really suck if he was like 1% owned it in. I would probably be kicking myself, but just wanted to talk through that one. Malcolm Brogdon also questionable. If he ends in along with Sabonis, I mean, there's nothing to extract from this spot.
Yes, agreed. And obviously, if they're out, you go right back to Karis LeVert. You go right back to Miles Turner. But I will have some Sabonis. Right now we have him, like you said, 2% ownership, 6.6% optimal. I might sprinkle 5% of Sabonis in there. But nothing more than that.
All righty. Is there another forward here on the top end that you're getting to that you're using as a quote unquote? I mean, there's not really a spend up here today. It's Sabonis. There's DeRozan. There's Tobias Harris. They're both just massively overpriced. Is there anybody you're getting to on the top end?
I have a handful of DeRozan, I would say.
Okay.
I know that they're getting healthier, but it's not like DeMar DeRozan was playing bad when the team was at full strength and went on some sort of crazy run during COVID. That's not what happened at all. He played basically one game without Zach LaVine, right? And we've seen DeRozan play well all season. He's super efficient. He can do a little bit of everything. He's got 50 plus in his range of outcomes, so I don't mind paying 9.6 for him.
All right. Somebody brought up Karis LeVert. I think you can get to a little bit of Karis LeVert waiting to see if those two pieces break before the Detroit-San Antonio game. But I'm probably going to meld them into that Detroit-San Antonio game if we don't have that news. It's more of in the event of after 3 o'clock locking out here on the West Coast, so 6 o'clock East Coast time. In the event that it locks at that point, I would want to have some LeVert if we saw Sabonis, Brogdon both out. Again, I have no idea. They're playing Chicago. They're 6-point dogs. Chicago, even without Lonzo Ball, they've got DeRozan, they've got Zach LaVine, they've got Vooch. They're the better basketball team. It just wouldn't make a lot of sense for them to go and run them all out there, banged up if they're not going to be full strength. So my guess is probably both play or neither play. I'm going to kind of be waiting for that LeVert news, but wanted to at least throw that out there because that is somebody to bring up. Hey, we have a super chat. Isn't that nice to see? The losers win again. Would you play Hernan Gomez and Josh Hart or Boucher and Kevin Love? Which one of those pairings would you play? No sight given.
Wow. Both of them are so tasty.
I know.
I'm going to go hit the Hernan Gomez side.
Okay. Hernan Gomez side.
Yeah, again, we're going to talk about the centers in a bit, but I am expecting a big bounce back from Willie HG.
Avi Schreier, we've got another super chat from earlier there. Bitcoin Center or something, not Staples no more. I'm going to say Staples for, probably as long as I possibly can.
Are you one of these?
That way people know what I'm talking
very
about.
Upset about?
Say that again. No, I don't care. It's more of just like, if I said the Bitcoin Center, would you know what I was talking about?
Of course.
Shut up. No, you wouldn't. Absolutely. It's the crypto. What is it called? Jordan Klein? Crypto.com Center. That is so much worse. Those are like those stupid Matt Damon commercials, aren't they? You want to know what it's like to talk like this in a monotone voice? We're in space. Look at space. Oh, yes, it's beautiful. And you know what they always say? The world was forged by people who forged the world. I don't know. Some stupid crap monologue like that, whatever. We've got 21 minutes. Start getting in some rough lineups here. We are going to talk the rest of the forward spots here. I just am getting to a crazy amount of Toronto and Detroit. I don't find any way around it. I could literally leave it that. Keldon Johnson becomes very interesting in the absence of DeJounte Murray. I think he's probably the one guy we haven't discussed. I think you could even try to make Lonnie Walker a little bit of a thing, but it's not necessarily on this slate at 4,300 for Lonnie Walker for me, when there's guys at 3K that are going to play 15 more minutes and do exactly what he does, which is just volume score.
Agreed. Love Keldon tonight. I'd rather play Keldon at 16% ownership than Derek White at 35 or whatever we talked about earlier.
Yeah, agreed.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
I like Derek White. I just think it's the better leverage play.
Yeah, the Clippers guys, Terrence Mann is showing up as undervalued in the boom bust tool. Definitely going to have plenty of him. And also Triple J. I know Triple J hasn't been doing it for us recently, but he's popping as undervalued. Only 4% projected ownership. His optimal rate is slightly higher than that. So I'll have, like 10% or so of him, I think.
Somebody said Dinwiddie much. We didn't talk about Dinwiddie. He's fine. 6,500. I have a little bit. Nothing crazy, though. How about you?
I actually don't have any Dinwiddie at the moment just because I ended up using so much Banton. But yeah, that's a mistake.
I just think Banton's he's the play of the slate. Like,
yeah.
If he doesn't play well, whatever. But like on FanDuel, he's listed at power forward and he's not getting any traction, it seems like, because everybody keeps going in chat and asking if he's going to be in or not. This duo cost me over $6,000 last night. What? Why? What? No, he did not. You did. You made the lineups. What are you talking about? Don't come at me with that. That's ridiculous.
We're going to continue. Like me and you?
Yeah.
I wasn't even on yesterday.
You weren't. And maybe last slate being like, yeah, no, I wasn't on. Yeah, I was on yesterday. Christmas Day. It was lovely. So you're welcome. Merry Christmas. Let's keep going. Rest of the forward spots. Kyle Anderson, my favorite play at the forward spot. Do you agree?
No, but
cool. Good.
I like it.
Okay. He's under 10% right now on FanDuel. Yeah. It's 5,600 there. And you get the stocks. I just don't know what those minutes look like, but I think he starts. Like, doesn't he? He doesn't start, but he is going to play a boatload of minutes, like he has to. And he's
I don't know
kind
if
of just under 10%.
I think he's probably capped at like 24, 25 minutes, which is what we've seen.
Well, then I can't do that either. I'm just going through updating my minutes. I had him marked on my sheet as somebody that I assumed starting, but then in my mind I was like, Concher is the one starting there in that spot. Once again, so many moving parts. 18 minutes. Make sure you double check everything. But Banton on FanDuel specifically, I think I'm going to have 100% now.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing everybody. Nobody's reacting or everybody's freaking out about it, and I'm just loving every second of it.
How many Twitter CSV tweets or CTX tweets for FanDuel tonight? You had this guy listed as out all day.
A lot.
And yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I mean, Boucher and DJ Wilson are at the same position, so I'm not going to get to 100%. Like, I'm going to get to a lot. I'm going to be way over the field, but like the probabilities, like even if I had 100%, you don't win a best game theory award trophy at the end of the night. I wish they did, because then I would be undefeated, baby. That's what it is.
You are the greatest.
I am, baby. It's fine. I almost did my Scotty Wen again. I wish I did, but I shouldn't. Aaron Gordon, no. Looking at these other pieces down here that are projected for 30 plus minutes, like everybody other than, the aforementioned Kevin Love, if they're not playing 30 plus minutes, or in some cases 40 plus minutes, probably shouldn't have a ton of interest going their direction. But round out the forward spot for me. We'll talk some Yahoo, then we'll talk centers and get ourselves on out of here. But anything else you want to touch on from forward?
No, I think that we've kind of hit on everybody. Don't play Dean Wade. I know you might look at it and say, oh, he's 3,900. He's going to play 30 minutes. It's just not. It's not a Dean Wade night. You're going to need more raw points than what Dean Wade brings to the table.
Somebody just asked, check Diallo, 3,500 on FanDuel. Yes, I would have some 3K on DK. Again, only 8 lineup spots. Not as important to me as opposed to 9 on FanDuel, where you got to get a lot of them right. Getting to the bottom end might get you multiple studs. But what do you think about check Diallo here from Detroit?
For me, the answer is no. He has, what's he been with the team for? Like 6 days?
Yeah, like a cup of coffee. He had a cup of coffee.
He played 3 minutes in their last game. I will pass on check Diallo.
Yeah, he's center on DK, which is kind of why I'm just throwing that out the window. But at least having the power forward eligibility, he's power forward only. That's kind of wonky there on Detroit, but whatever. That's where he's at. That's how we're going to play him. Guys, Yahoo. Let's talk some Yahoo here. And it's a wild slate, no doubt about it. And if you guys want to play at the best place for your bankroll, the best opportunity to make some real cash, play over at Yahoo. Why? Low management fees. That is what it comes down to. There's nothing that we can say, if you lost $6,000, I'm sorry. I can say sorry. That's about it. But like, legitimately, there's nothing else I can say if you're not playing at Yahoo, because you're going to sustain your bankroll much longer. You're going to have better opportunities to win tons of money by playing over at Yahoo because of low management fees, because of these negative management fee contests that they're doing with Overlay. They just got done with the 12 days of winning. They have the free month of Awesemo Plus that you can still get here too. If you're a new user, no better time than now to jump over there. Use promo code Awesemo and get 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum when you deposit $10 or more, and you're all set to go. That's it. That's what it comes down to. Like, you'll get NBA, NFL, MMA, NHL, all of it completely free to you. Check out Yahoo now. I'm looking at the $15. It already filled. I've got some lineups in that. So best of luck to everybody that's in there. But I'm telling you, going forward, this is the spot to play. It's definitely the spot to go play for NFL tonight as well. And of course, we've got the 7:15 p.m. Eastern time, the trio that you guys all like, EMAC, Nick Lepre, Terry, our boy Terry, the three of them leading you up to lock here of tonight's Sunday Night Football game. So don't forget to check that out. But more importantly, check out Yahoo, our sponsor here of the NBA Live Before Lock show. All right, center, you said it. It's stacked. We've got Jokic and Embiid on the top end. Pick one.
It's always going to be Jokic for me. He's just the best player in fantasy right now. He's had at least 61 and a half DraftKings points in 7 of his last 9.
Seems good.
The only times he hasn't gotten to that threshold, he's played 26 and 25 minutes. So as long as this guy plays his usual 34 to 36 minutes, he's probably going to put up a 60 burger. And it's just hard for me to get away from that. I will have Embiid, but for me, it's more like, for every 3 Jokic lineups, I will have 1 Embiid lineup.
Okay. I don't mind that. I think that that's about the right ratio too. I'm definitely over on both. Raw points, man. It really comes down to it. Like it sounds stupid that I keep saying it over and over again, but the center spot has 2 of them. And, why are we a little bit lower on some of these other pieces of value? Well, because there aren't guys to pay up for at forward. I mean, Saddiq Bey, I already said he's projected under 45 at 7,500. Then it's DeMar DeRozan and those guys. If they put up 55 plus and beat Embiid and Jokic, so be it. But I don't know if the number of times they beat them outweighs the number of times being overweight to those two works out for you on this specific slate where value is all over the board. So give me the raw points. I'm going to be playing a ton of both of those guys. I'm with you. I think Jokic is a little bit better, but that's also shown up in the ownership. I would have no problem if you wanted to get to, the same amount of both, so long as you're over the field on Jokic's 35%, like no doubt about it. Rest of the position, though, there is one other massive piece of chalk here. One of the most important guys to talk about on the slate, that's Guillermo Hernan Gomez. We continue to see a massive projection for him. He's projected for 40. Like, if I'm not playing Nikola Jokic, and if I'm not playing Joel Embiid, I can tell you that lineup is probably going to have Hernan Gomez. How about you?
So I basically waxed poetic about this guy the last time we were on.
You did.
He was slightly disappointing, right? He finished with 24 and a half DraftKings points, but I feel better about him now than I did on that last slate.
Okay.
He played almost 32 and a half minutes. He had 16 boards. The only thing is he was 1 for 11 from the field. That's going to happen sometimes. Sometimes the ball is just not going to go through the hoop. If he gets back to a normal, shooting percentage in this game, I think he clears 40. I really do. So for me, I will have 80+%, 90+%. The only reason it won't be 100 is because I do want to have some lineups with Jokic and Embiid together. But other than that, Hernan Gomez will be on my team.
Yep. He's going to be in a lot of lineups here too. Those 3 centers, I'm rotating a bunch. I found other ways to get different. Also, getting different and getting stupid are 2 different things. And correct. I want to get different and not stupid. I think it's pretty stupid. I'm over the field on Luka Garza because I have a problem, but I've at least admitted it. And it's not like I'm telling anybody else to do it. I'm just doing it because if he were to go for 45 in offensive eruption spot, which against the Spurs up in pace could definitely happen. I think it's a fine spot at the absolute min, so long as you find the paths to DeMar DeRozan, Brandon Ingram, Saddiq Bey, these other expensive guys at the forward spot. And at the guard spot, we have a number of guys that we can spend up for. So I am trying to get different with some builds that way, but no doubt about it, he's somebody that on this particular slate, I'm just happy to Guillermo Hernan Gomez, that is, be overweight to that as well. Then the rest of the center position is just garbage to me because nobody's going to come close to projecting out that well. Miles Turner would be the guy if I knew that you got Sabonis out, I would definitely want to fire up some Miles Turner in this spot, just like you would want to fire up Karis LeVert. But I don't really know about that situation. And the opportunity cost at center is just gigantic anyway that, I'm not going to lose sleep tonight if Miles Turner is the guy who goes for 50 and I don't have him, mainly because I think Jokic and Embiid can go for 60.
Yes, and Turner is coming off of a huge game, but he was 14 for 18 from the field. Massive regression candidate in this spot. He's now significantly more expensive. I will have Turner, but I will have him on FanDuel where I can use him at power forward. That's really the only way I'm playing him.
Ryan C., I beat Eric in 12 days of winning. Yes, you did. I got 11th. It was sad. I was winning for a lot of it because I had to try to put in some studs in early games and make it work. But you know what? I almost pulled it off. It was obviously Harden and LeBron James, and they were my highest owned players for studs for every other site, except for that one contest where I just thought I had to try to get different in order to get up top. But congratulations, smash. What a fun contest that was. I hope they do more stuff like that. I like those seasonal 12 weeks, with the 5K up top where you're playing DFS every day. What a fun deal. Again, check out Yahoo. Anything else you want to discuss here at center? Because, we could get into the weeds with Ivica Zubac. We could try to make him a thing. Montrezl Harrell. Somebody said Steven Adams, which again, I have probably spoke up for Steven Adams more than most people. There's not a chance in hell that I'm rostering Steven Adams on this slate.
Yeah, no chance for me. I think the only guy that would cause me to get away from the core that we have mentioned is Garza. And you have already laid out the case for him. I don't necessarily see that case. I'm not as bullish on it because I've seen a million guys like Luka Garza come into the league and they all stink. But
here's the thing. If you played college DFS, you played Luka Garza and it went really well. So yeah, it was fun. This might be 15% of nostalgia that I'm just donating out into the world because I want to feel good. I want to feel something, No,
I mean, for the record, the boom bust tool supports this decision, right? We have him at 15% ownership on DraftKings, 26% optimal lineup. So he has one of the best leverage scores on the entire slate. For me, it's the opportunity cost of not having Hernan Gomez, and that's not a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
All righty, y'all. Luke Canard, question mark. People want to know about Luke Canard. We kind of laid out a lot of the Clippers, being pretty decent plays here on this slate, going undervalued. You were definitely higher on them, I think, than the average person. My major problem is that there's a lot of guys that kind of like split duty at certain positions. So like Nicholas Batum, Serge Ibaka, kind of coming in relief of Zubac and having that out there. Batum, I don't see the workload there. I think Amir Coffey is going to have to play a little bit above expectation. But that doesn't do anything for you when guys are going to be playing 40 minutes in games closer to lock. So anything else you wanted to redress or talk about from the Clipper side? Because the guards definitely seem like the more appealing targets.
Yeah, for me, it's Eric Bledsoe, clear priority 1 for the Clippers. Terrence Mann, clear priority 2. And then Luke Kennard would be the third guy. But I think it's a pretty significant tier drop off from Bledsoe.
Tier drop off, he says. I like that. I'm putting my lineups in. You should all do the same here, guys. 6 minutes to go. I'm going to have some questions here for you guys. Or, that almost sounded like I was going to quiz you. I'm not going to quiz you. You guys ask us any questions that you would like. Dear Lord, not on this slate. Not today. We've got Jeremiah Johnson. Are you playing Joker on FD for a single entry? Abso-freaking-lutely.
100%. Yes.
Yeah. You should not even think about that. You absolutely, he's the best raw projection on this slate by like 10.
Yes. And as much as I love Hernan Gomez, it's just, you need those stud points. And, like if we had a James Harden or a Steph Curry or somebody like that, I could talk myself into Hernan Gomez being the correct decision, but we don't. You just need Jokic tonight.
Absolutely. Anybody else watch Friends? I watched Friends. What are you talking about?
Sure. I've seen
Toby Sun. Nobody will get that one other than me, but it's okay. Bay likes to not show up. I have a lot of Diallo. Hey, if Bay doesn't play well, I bet you Diallo does.
I mean,
play a lot.
I guess there's a formula for a guy playing 43 minutes and not showing up, but I haven't really seen it yet.
Yeah, neither have I. That's for sure. Banton now has the green check mark next to his name on FanDuel. Way to go, guys. Thanks for keeping it real here for the last, 55 minutes of this show. Absolutely things you love to see. So for anybody concerned, he's fine to go. Colin Sutherland, Frank Jackson, or Aaron Holiday at guard on Yahoo?
Easy,
if you
Frank
roster
Jackson.
Aaron Holiday, I have nothing else to say to you for the rest of life. If you roster Aaron Holiday on this slate, Aaron Holiday, think about what I just... No, not this slate. Just know.
Holiday.
Do not celebrate.
My voice is shot.
Normally, we will not have a good time tonight because you rostered Holiday, which is not good. Yeah, that's all I have for you. Let's keep going. Any show with a laugh track is a fade. If it's funny, I'll laugh. It's not necessarily true. Big Bang Theory, it's true. Kevin Love and Garland, or Hernan and Gomez and Morant on FD. Which one do you prefer out of that duo?
Easily the second.
Yep, I think that's pretty clear for me too. Again, Kevin Love, I might be a little bit lower on him is what I'm starting to learn through the builds. I know it's not great. I'm getting to like 10% and I'm going to have to live with the consequences of my actions.
I will take Hernan Gomez raw points over Kevin Love raw points easily.
Ooh, I like that. I would too, by the way. I've 63% of one fool and I have like none of the other. I need to boost Embiid's projection real quick because that is way too low of a number to be getting on Embiid here. I need to get more. Here we go. Done. Got it. That was lovely. Keep on going. Best shooting guard play here on the day. I mean, let me count the ways, sir. My highest owned. I'm looking at DK right now. Hamidou Diallo, Derek White, Frank Jackson, Svi Mikhailuk. Who are your highest owned shooting guards?
Diallo, Desmond Bain, Tyrese Halliburton.
Wait, you got on the Bain train?
You talked me into.
Did I get you in the Bain train? I feel so. Oh.
I also like the correlation with him and Halliburton, right? You know, like I wanted a little mini bring back. Brandon Ingram as well. So I'm spending up a little bit at shooting guard because to me, outside of Frank Jackson, who again I should have mentioned him, I don't see this as like a position with a ton of value.
The Diet Coke of bringbacks, just 1 calorie, not even enough. That was all for you. Jordan Klein's never, ever doing a show with me again. He's so over me today. He's been with me for 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours we've been on the airwaves today. Oh, yeah. No, he just went silent. Zero dark Klein over there. Everybody hit that like button for Jordan Klein. He's the best producer in the game that is named Jordan Klein, and I don't think it's close. So check him out. He's good people. If you like him, you don't have to like me. I really don't care, but everybody likes Jordan Klein. So hit that like button for him. I think you should also hit it for LaMarca. He's done a great job breaking down a lot of this complex, ridiculous slate. I suppose you could just play this slate where it's like, hey, I'm going to roster an eternal amount of Toronto and an eternal amount of Detroit and then just move on with your life. But you know what? We have to get more complicated than that to win tournaments in 2021 because that's the world that we live in. I think you did a great job. Anything you want the people to know right now leading up to this slate?
No, but good. Oh, monitor the Pacers. That's my last bit of advice. Monitor that Pacers situation. If they, the two studs get ruled out for the Pacers, Karis LeVert becomes very appealing as a guy you need to late swap to.
The last thing I will leave you with is this. So there's a lot of slates that I will cap or put like a minimum of like 49,700. I don't want to leave more than 300 on the table. I am letting it rip today. Like, I think this is a slate where you could see 900 on the table, 800 on the table, stuff like that, win because it's about raw points along with value. And the value opens it up in such a way where I'm not restrictive. I'm looking at lineups with 900 on the table, 600 on the table. Now, I don't want to get in a habit of doing that every single slate, but on this one specifically, with the amount of Jokic and Embiid lineups that I have where I'm still leaving money on the table, like it's definitely viable more than you think it is. So don't restrict yourself here. Again, we have 1 minute to go here until lock. I'm going to be late swapping like a banshee. There's no doubt about it. Who I have rostered here. Oh, quick Yahoo 2v2, Morant and Kuzma or Dinwiddie DeRozan. For me, that's Dinwiddie DeRozan, but I mean, it's like a raw points thing.
Sorry, my alarm went off. I don't know what happened there.
Well, great. You're very helpful. It's useful. We're at lock, everybody. Hey, this is an absolute blast. Over 1K of you guys hanging out, doing some NBA here. Thank you to Jordan Klein behind the glass. I mean that in all seriousness. Matt LaMarca, also in all seriousness. You're my favorite. Any final words for people? Man.
Yeah, I hope you guys all had a nice holiday. I got my niece a little Tykes hoop, so I've been just giving her buckets all day. I'm telling you right now, if I was available on this DFS slate, I would be like a 15K pay up going against my 18-month-old niece on a little Tykes hoop. She has no answer for the kid.
Just back him down in the block and just slam fast.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
get out of here.
defensive stats. I'm racking up blocks and steals. It's a
Man.
bloodbath.
It's just Charles Oakley down there, just elbowing, not giving a damn. It's beautiful. That's the kind of hoops I like to hear. Thanks, Matt LaMarca. Go follow him at Matt LaMarca on Twitter. Go follow me at Eric Lindquist. Enjoyed it. Thank you so much to our sponsor, Yahoo. We're out of here. Good luck tonight.